Hey there, dear viewers. Welcome to Obsessed with Werewolves. I'm so glad you're here because I know you, like me, have a passion for all things werewolf. From their captivating tales to their mysterious nature, we're going to explore it all. So let's dive right in and satisfy our obsession together, becoming one. You have to let him mark you, Arabella, she says. But why mark me? What does finding the Luna have to do with him marking me? When a wolf marks or is marked, he or she becomes complete. The ritual or the spell that we will perform will ensure definite results then. I'll need a lot of energy so it better work or our efforts will be in vain, she explains. When do you want to do the spell? I ask her. The sooner the better. She says and I turn to leave. Because the war is near Arabella. I can feel it. I hear Maisie before I make my decision. I wait by the window in his room, my heart pounding. I'm wearing a one-piece nightgown, exposing my neck, for him, to mark me as his. Am I ready for this? My mind drifts to all the times we've been together, all the times he has made the heart beat like it's gonna burst out, all the times he has made me feel safe, made me feel purposeful, wanted. Yes, I can do this. He's my mate and I should be striving to make him stronger and not make him chase me. What the hell was I thinking? This is my pack. My people and I'm supposed to be their Luna and protect them. Especially when the moon wants me to. I gulp as I hear Xalvador enter. I turn around slowly, to find his eyes transfixed on my outfit. I shiver under his gaze as he takes a step towards me. His stance predatory. His eyes are dark and his jaw taut as he stares into my eyes, standing a hair's breadth. What are you trying to do, Bella? He asks, his voice raspy and strained. I notice his fists are clenched on the side. I release his fists with my hands while he watches confused. Mark me Xalvador, I say confidently, looking into his eyes. His expression is priceless as his mouth hangs open with surprise while he grabs me by my waist and flushes me against him. He scans my face and then frowns. Why, what are you planning? He asks with the suspicion and I don't blame him. I need to tell him everything. If we want to defeat the Black Water and Silver Falls, then I need him with me. I and Maisie can't do things alone. It is gonna be a long night. I entwine my fingers with his and look into his eyes. I want you to mark me. No plotting, no conspiracy. I'm just giving in. I whisper truthfully, lightly running my hand over his jaw. He scans my face and then looks into my eyes as if not believing me. When he doesn't get the fishy thing he is trying to find, he pulls me into a smearing kiss. I gasp and his lips dominate mine. I slightly move them. He groans with surprise and pleasure and slips his tongue in. My body feels on fire and he settles me on the edge of the bed, crouching in front of me. His lips trail from my cheek to my jaw and then to my ear. I shiver as he whispers, his hold tightening on my waist. You sure you want this sugar bun? His voice is pure husky torture and I just nod. He growls lowly and then one of his grabs my hair and tips my head back slightly. I gasp as he showers my collarbone and neck with kisses and bites. I feel his lips hover over that place and I hold my breath. He tells me to relax and that's all the warning I get before his canines plunge into my skin. I yelp as I feel immense pain. He doesn't retreat and the pain slowly fades, replaced by pleasure. My soul feels connected with his as he pulls back, his breathing as hard as mine. He grabs my face and aligns our foreheads. I'm sorry, baby. Sorry for hurting you. He says and I shake my head. It is okay. We both look at my shoulder and I am once again made aware of the connection that has been established. It's as if we are almost one. I can feel his erratic heartbeat, his jumbled emotions, his dauntlessness and his pain. It's as if everything that he had been through, I'm going through right now. I look at his face and find a similar expression. as if he can read my mind, my soul, and my worst fears. I am brought back to the present as I feel blood trickle down my collarbone onto the gown. I quickly stand to wash it, but Xalvador stops me. He instead gets some cotton and water and wipes the area soothingly. Being a wolf, the star heals quickly, only leaving a beautiful mark behind. Wow, I say without knowing as I trace my fingers over the mark. Xalvador watches my neck transfixed. He bends down suddenly, kisses and licks the mark, and the pleasure travels down through my entire body. Mind, he whisper, growls, and he holds my gaze for assurance. I nod as I make him sit beside me. Xalvador, let's sleep, I say, and he again looks surprised. If I tell him everything right now, I might ruin this moment. On finally accepting him, letting him break the walls I spent years building. I don't want to lose this precious moment. I can tell him everything first thing in the morning. He pulls me to his chest and I smile, content lie. I am marked now. Claimed by such a strong, selfless man, I don't really feel the fear I used to feel before. Maybe because he is a part of me now. I have his strength to help me, assure me. His arm snakes around mine, possessive lie, and pulls me against his chest. Okay, maybe possessive Xalvador is not something I'm ready for. But the war needs us to be together. For our people. For Alpha Adam. For Tyler and Mariah. It is dark, and there is nowhere to go. I am alone. I squint my eyes to realize I'm in front of a large house. A large, peculiar and scary house. I walk towards it confused. I don't know what else to do. I climb up the front steps towards the door and stand there wondering if I should knock. But the door creaks open and I enter carefully. Come to me, honey. I hear a voice as I roam in the dark hallways of the house. The house looks burned and ruined. Everything is like trash scattered around. But the voice, it's familiar. It's Grandma. My grandmother. I strain to listen, but there is an eerie silence. Grandma, where are you? I scream, desperate to find her, to reach her and tell her how much I missed her. Here, baby. Come to me. I hear her faint voice. I run around furiously, checking one after another room and finding them all empty. I hurt my foot against a table, like thing, and I fall down. Where are you, grandmother? I can't find you. I yell, my voice desperate and frustrated with tears streaming down my face. I rise again and walk further down the dark hallway. I find a door ajar and sneak in. It's a poorly lit room, with 2 big candles burning by the bed. I see a small boy standing near the bed, his shoulders shaking. I walk closer, steadily. I watch over the boy's shoulder and I gasp as I see a blue pale body lying there. The boy suddenly turns his head back and I gasp. His eyes are flooding with tears of blood. He looks like Xalvador. No, he takes a step towards me and I stumble backwards. You killed him. He accuses me, pointing towards the dead man. You killed my father. He shouts again and I shake my head. No. I didn't kill him. I didn't. Yes, you did. You're a murderer. I hate you. You killed him. He yells and I shake my head furiously, covering my ears and closing my eyes. When I open them next, I'm in a different room, a quiet one. The boy is gone. I look around to find a woman resting on a chair. Grandma, is that you? I exclaim and take quick steps towards her. She looks up at me and smiles. I smile with tears in my eyes. I found her. My grandmother will be with me again. I can tell her what the little boy told me and how I didn't kill the man. She will believe me. I'll tell her how I can't sleep without her and she will cradle me in her arms. I am about to hold her hand when her expression turns into one of pain and agony. Save me, Bella. she says in a strained voice, and I reach out. Before I can touch her, she vanishes. No. I scream as I look around to find the darkness engulfing me. I sit up with a start, my breathing fast and sweat all over. I feel Xalvador quickly get up beside me, and I wipe my forehead with the back of my hand. Hey, what's wrong? Xalvador questions as he rubs a hand on my back. I cry as the dream I just had is painted in my head as clear as the day. I feel confused and overwhelmed with pain as I recall everything. I cry as I remember finding my grandma. It was just a dream. Spell it is fine. It was just a dream. You're safe. Xalvador says soothingly, and I lean into his embrace. I take minutes to finally calm down. Things are getting out of hand now. I can't live with these secrets alone now. Xalvador, there are some things you need to know. Yeah, sugar bun. You can tell me in the morning. You need rest right now. He says, and I shake my head violently. No, it is important. You must hear me out right now. I say, and he sighs. Bella, we can talk in the I killed your father. I cut him and he stops talking, his face turning into a frown. No more secrets, what? He asks in low, hard voice. I mean, that is what you told me in my dream. I stutter and he visibly sighs. Oh, Arabella, it was just a dream. You don't have to think so much. He soothes, and I shake my head furiously. No, Xalvador. Ever since I lost my grandmother, or as far as I can remember, I've always had significant dreams. Dreams that mean something. They aren't just factions of my ing, nor a result of my mind working in overdrive. I can be sure of that. I explain frantically, hoping he would understand. Bella, you're overthinking this. You are overwhelmed by the sudden connection that we share. Just let this dream pass. Let's sleep. No. Xalvador, this wasn't just a dream. Everything in me is yelling that I must find out what the dream meant to convey. And for that, I must tell you things. Things that you need to know. I say the last part gravely. I don't understand anything you're saying. But Bella, right now, I want you to sleep. You are way too tired, and I understand why. Let's just rest. No, hear me out. I can't sleep with this burden of secrets on my shoulder. I say firmly, and he listens. I tell him all about Maisie and Witch's End, his mother. By the time I unravel everything that's on my mind, his expression is hard. Why didn't you tell me before? I don't know. It was stupid of me, but now the pack is in so much of danger. I cannot be quiet anymore. I say, and he doesn't respond. And he looks at me and gets up and leaves. I sigh as I know what to think of his inconclusive reaction. Next morning, Maisie lets out the biggest squeal I've heard when she spots the mark on my neck. I reprimand her and tell her about everything. I tell her about my dream and how I think it holds some meaning that I must find out. Her funny demeanor changes as we talk business. Now I can perform the spell, Arabella. Can you please ask Xalvador to be in the middle of the woods, near the two largest banyan trees at precisely the time the sun goes down? She asks, and I nod. I have to convince Xalvador. I make my way back to the house and find Xalvador in his office. On the way, I hear the people arguing in hushed, deadly voices. I turn my way and move to the direction of the noise near the back of the house. I'm surprised to find Liam and Kane standing there, a heated conversation. You will do no such thing. Liam glares at Kane, and Kane is about to reply when the duo notice me. They both look at me, their expressions purely showing the annoyance they feel at my interruption. Okay, Arabella, you need to learn to mind your business. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. I say with an apologetic tone. I'll just go. I say awkwardly and am about to leave when Liam calls me and then joins me as we walk away. What was that about? I ask in a quiet voice. Nothing, Arabella. Kane was just being his normal self. He says he said. His tone clipped. Okay. And I'm sorry for meddling. I say, and he visibly relaxes. Oh no, Luna. It was your right. Especially now since you're marked. He finishes the sentence with a teasing tone, his eyes on my mark. I roll my eyes and smack him on the shoulder. Hey, but come on. At least tell, how did you suddenly decide to let Alpha Xalvador to mark you? He asks. Well, the real reason is something even your Alpha doesn't know yet. This raises his curiosity and he urges me to go on. I tell him about Elizabeth and her telling me about how I belong to the pack. The which part being too complicated, I let it stay. Xalvador can decide how it must be broken out to everyone later. So I just feel this urge to protect my pack since I did really take birth here. And for that, I realize that I have to focus on fighting the enemies rather than the bond that I share with your Alpha. I say, and he nods. He suddenly leans into my ear and whispers, yours too. He finished with a smirk. He meant that Xalvador is my Alpha too now. Well, yeah, he is, and I may someday accept fully. I shake my head at him in fake disapproval and then head off to Xalvador's office. You were with Liam, is the first thing I hear as soon as I close the door behind me. Yes, we were just talking, I say, and he gets up, walking towards me. I don't like his scent on you. He growls possessive lie and pulling me close by the waist, kisses his mark on the shoulder. I shudder as the mark demands more and Xalvador complies, kissing and nipping on my shoulder and throat. I gasp as my hands clutch his hair for support and try to pull him closer and away at the same time. Xalvador. I came here to talk. I manage to stutter as his hands roam over my back and my waist and hips and neck in that erotic way. Then talk, Bella. He commands in a husky voice, and I struggle to remember why I came here in the first place. Maisie, right. I'm not stopping you. He further continues. I kick myself mentally and remember what I'm supposed to tell him. I'm about to tell him when his lips land on mine in a hard and possessive kiss. I whimper slightly as the mark throbs and it's impossible not to respond. I tentatively move my lips and Xalvador groans, pulling me closer. He backs me till we reach his table and his hand unzips the zipper of my dress. No, Xalvador, stop. I'm not ready. I gasp and he immediately halts, regaining control over his breathing. He presses his forehead against mine as we both try to calm down our breaths. He zips up my chain at the back and the small actions makes my stomach go wild with butterflies. What were you going to say? He asks as he moves away from me, yet not far enough to lose physical contact. I need you to come with me to the woods today evening. Maisie will perform a spell to contact your mother. I say, a bit nervous. His teeth clenches immediately and his eyes darken with anger. That woman is not my mother, Arabella. Remember that. And I am not going to seek any help from her. I don't want to know what she is doing or how she is. I don't even care if she is alive or dead. He says with clenched teeth, and I go closer to him. Xalvador Maisie is a witch, but not yet powerful completely. She can help us fight the enemies who have a far more stronger witch than Maisie. Your mother was powerful. We need her to tell us how Maisie can achieve the complete powers of a witch. Please. I can protect my pack. I don't need that betraying woman who left me years for her own selfish reasons to help me save the pack she never gave a damn about. He growls angrily. I immediately cup his cheeks and stare into his eyes. Xalvador, I'm not telling you to forgive her or seek her help. This is your pack and you care for it, which is why you must help reach her help and ask her for help. It's not about her XAL. It's about this pack. The pack you care about. I explain softly, caressing his cheek. His stand seizes as he seems to consider my words. Please, I urge once more and his jaw ticks. And then he gives me a reluctant nod. Spells in the dark. I arrive at the spot Maisie wanted us to with Xalvador and his body tenses immediately. Maisie isn't there, but there are candles set up in a circle. We look around for Maisie, and when she doesn't appear, we just decide to wait. There is still time for the moon to come up, the last rays on sun casting a subtle glow on the area. We just sit near a tree, waiting for Maisie to come. Are you nervous? I ask Xalvador. He replies, are you? Not nervous, but there is this feeling that something bad might happen. I say. Xalvador squeezes my hand, effectively calming me down. Nothing will happen. Even that woman refuses to help us. We will save our pack, he says, and I nod. His expression changes to one of surprise just for the slightest moment. I know why. I didn't contradict when he said our pack. How can I, when it's not true? He doesn't comment on it, and I'm thankful. If I tell him what Elizabeth told me, he will want to consummate the bond. And I am not ready for that. Even if Xalvador agrees to wait and respect my wish, his wolf won't. The only leash Xalvador has on his wolf is the fact that I was a Rogan. To become a pack member officially is still hard for me. Even if I've agreed to be marked, to consummate the bond is a much bigger step. Once I do it, the connection will become 100 times more powerful. His strength will become my mine, and so will his weaknesses, and it would be impossible to stay without each other. And I am not ready for that. It feels like giving up completely on that little freedom that I have. I'm sorry, Alpha. Luna. I had to arrange a few things. Maisie appears, announcing. She immediately gulps as Xalvador stares at her with a hard look. Xalvador already told you Maisie hid the fact that she is a witch because I told her to. Stop glaring at her. I whisper, scold him. He averts his gaze, and Maisie shoots me a thankful look. She stands inside the circle of candles and then closes her eyes, chanting something. The candles all around light up, and I feel Xalvador's surprise. Alpha, please step in the circle. Maisie says, and Xalvador's form stiffens again. He offers his hand to me, and I look at him in question. You either stand with me or I'm leaving. He says with finality, and I look at Maisie. He sees Stanley. She seems to think for a while and then nods. I take Xalvador's hand, and together we stand in the center of the circle. Maisie thrusts her hands forward and closes her eyes in concentration. She chants her spell in a low voice, and we can't hear it. The wind blows around slightly and the leaves ruffle in rebellion. This goes on for minutes until Maisie stops and looks forward. Maisie. I call out, but she doesn't reply. She keeps looking forward and then closes her eyes again, and her eyebrows scrunch as if focusing on something. Xalvador and I exchange same looks of confusion when suddenly Maisie gasps and stumbles backward. Xalvador immediately catches her, and I help him. She regains her balance and looks at her with an expression I quote can't fathom. It's almost a mix of surprise, confusion, and sadness. Did you get the help you wanted? Xalvador asks in a gruff tone. No, Maisie says in a low voice, and Xalvador scoffs. She has always been so selfish. He taunts. No, Alpha. She isn't selfish this time. She is dead. I gasp politely while Xalvador almost flinches. Almost. He just looks at me and storms away back to the house. I want to talk to Maisie, but I know Xalvador shouldn't be alone. I run in the direction he disappeared and halt at the entrance of that house. Where did he go? I focus on the bond, and I feel him near the back of the house. Feel his anger. And his hurt. I quickly run to the back of the house, only to be thrown back by a big black wolf. The wolf pounces on me, and I dodge by rolling over to the left. Xalvador snarls in frustration and growls in my direction. His eyes are golden and gleaming. Xalvador, it's me. Calm down. I exclaim as I dodge another of his attack. When he doesn't back down, I make a decision. If this is how he wants to let out his pent-up hurt, then be it. I quickly shift into my white wolf, my clothes flying apart. I pounce on him and he dodges to the side. We continue fighting like wild, hungry wolves, fighting and attacking and clawing each other. In his next attack, his fingernails dig into my neck, and without knowing I growl with pain. This miraculously brings him to his senses and he growls again, this time for hurting me. He quickly shifts and I close my eyes, not wanting to see his naked form. Aficionados nudges at me, but I don't budge. I can hear him sigh and then hear him retreat. He returns after a minute and a cloth drops near my ears. Change. I'm not looking. I quickly shift in where the long t-shirt he has gotten for me. He immediately turns and his eyes land on neck. There is a huge wound on the left part of my neck. Shit. Damn it. Xalvador growls and punches his fist in the ground so hard. I flinch. Xalvador, stop. It's just a wound. It's already healing. I fucking hit my own mate. I am so fucked up. He growls, his inner turmoil clear. He starts walking away and I catch his hand. Wait. I pull him back and cup his face. I'm okay and you haven't hurt me. I'm your mate and not a fragile doll that you should keep safe and scratch less. Your wolf needed a way to let out his anger and fighting was the only way it knew. It's fine. You know I can't be the immobile mate you want to protect. This is the way I've survived for 19 years, and getting hurt is a part of my being. You don't have to feel more hurt than you already are. I explain and then hug him. His arms immediately wrap around my body and I sigh as I feel his stress ease out and his heartbeat slow down. I don't care about her, and it doesn't affect me if she is dead. It doesn't you care. And that is exactly what is hurting you. You hate yourself for caring about the woman who left you. But she was your mother and it's natural. You can't help but not feel something hearing TJ as she is. No more. It's okay, I say and he doesn't reply. We spend some time in the much-needed silence and then proceed for dinner. Now that the Luna can't help, I must find out another way. I never met him. I decide to go to the village without any further delay. First thing in the morning. I would go right now, but there is no way Xalvador would allow me. As I stand in the doorway of my room, I see Liam leaving from above. I wanted to ask him about Kane, so I follow him. I look around when I reach outside but am able to find him. Just as I'm retreating, I hear him call out my name. Hey, I was just looking for you. Oh, needed some entertainment. He asks slightly and I smile while shaking my head. Why does Kane despise Xalvador so much? I ask and I can feel his reluctance to answer. It's okay. You don't have to tell me. I quickly assure, but he shakes his head. You have the right to know. Kane lost his wife and his daughter in the attack that night. His wife was pregnant with their second child, and maybe that is why she couldn't escape as fast as the other women. They were trying to leave in the midst of the attack and they got killed. When Kane came to know about that tragedy after the fight, he was shattered. And now he blames Alpha Xalvador, his father and the Luna for his loss. He says, and I feel a pain, Kane has a reason for behaving the way he does. Losing your entire family due to the weakness of someone else is not something that one can forgive. Especially the werewolf males who are so protective and possessive of their mates and family. And his unborn child. I almost release a sob, but then realizing motions at bay. That's really tragic. I didn't know. I say and Liam nods. That night shattered a lot of people's lives, Arabella. And the way it has, it almost unbearable. He says in a distant voice, as if voicing something he himself feels. I am about to question, but he wishes me a curt good night and leaves. And I just stare at his back wondering, The horrors of the future Liam wait. I call and run after him. He halts but doesn't turn. By the way you talk, I can tell you have lost someone to that night. And I know it hurts. I've lost someone who was my only family too. His eyes shoot up at this. But I've realized that it's not the past that we should focus on. It's the present. If I hadn't lost my grandmother, I would have never wandered in here and never found this pack, my mate and you. I have never had a real friend before, and now I have you, and Maisie and Xalvador are in this pack. I wanted to avenge the death of my grandmother so much before, but now my focus is on saving this pack. Because my future doesn't have to be cruel and self-centered. I have realized I can't only live for myself and do something that would provide satisfaction to me. Instead, I could save and fight for 100 other people who are living. And you have taught me that. When I came here, I never thought I would survive. But then you came alone and made me laugh, made me forget everything. And I saw how selfless you are. You actually know what love is, what life is. And I'm sure when you find your mate, she will be damned lucky to have found a man who is not at all cruel. I say genuinely and smile at him. I see Stanley hug him and then pat his back. Liam stares back in a dumbfounded way, but then quickly recovers and gives me a small smile in return. I don't know why I said what I just said. I just knew I had to. I quietly sneak into the house and into the possessive embrace of Xalvador for the night. I dress up in a tight floral blouse and a pair of jeans the next morning and leave for the village. Xalvador is busy in his office with his spies who have returned after their search. I really hope meeting that old man would help solve some of my questions. As I'm walking through the hallways, I hear Tyler sobbing. I quickly go inside his room and see Mariah right beside him, hugging him. They both look up as I kneel by their bed. I pull them both in an embrace and smile when they immediately respond. Over the last few days, I have managed to break the ice between the kids and me. They are more free around me and they don't hesitate as before. I think they might even like me. There is an odd sense of something warm that I feel every time I am with them. Their smiles make me happy and content. I wipe Tyler's cheeks and then ask him softly, "Why are you crying, Ty?" He pushes forward a paper that I didn't notice before. I open it to see a sketch of a beautiful woman. Her hair is long and brown, falling around her chest in soft waves while her face is small and feminine. Her smile is carefree and pretty while her eyes shine with happiness. My heart clenches as I stare at the sketch. She is with my mother. Tyler says with a sob and my eyes water at the innocence and hurt the boy says the sentence with. I pull him into a hug again and caress Mariah's hair. She is not crying. She instead looks responsible and strong, but her eyes show the pain she feels. The amount of hurt and pain that is in her which she never shows for the sake of her little brother. How a kid can be so strong. I would never know. She is beautiful. I say and Mariah and odds with a pained smile. But she was. And so was our father. He was very handsome. They both were very good looking. They are. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they are not here. They're watching you every minute. And one day you will meet them again. I promise. I explain softly. Really? Tyler asks timidly and I nod. Mariah too seemed intrigued. After all, she is a child, yes. In fact, I am sure they are watching you right now and are probably sad. Why sad? Mariah asks with a tone of desperateness. Because you guys are sad. No parents want their children to be unhappy or sad. They become sad too. So if you want to make them happy, you should smile, and laugh, and be happy always. Do that for your parents, all right, because they love you so much, but we miss them. Mariah says softly and for the first time. I see a tear roll down her cheeks. I know you do. I say quietly and cuddle them both with me on the bed. I caress their hair and kiss their foreheads. But I begin. They were taken away from you by some cruel people. But even then they loved you, and that is why they are around you as angels. Angels who made sure that you come here and live with Xalvador. You have Xalvador now, Maisie, and I know you both are fond of Liam. I say, trying to cheer them up. And we have you. Mariah smiles at me and my heart flutters. Tears flood into my eyes as I kiss their cheeks. They feel family. You'll always have me. I promise, I say, looking down at both of them. Mariah sits up and wipes her cheeks. I won't cry now, and nor will you, Ty, she says in declaration and helps Tyler clean his face as well. I watch in admiration as I sit up too. Mariah looks around the room and then smiles. Mom, Dad, I know you are here. And though I can't see you, I know you are looking over me and Ty. I love you both, and I promise I won't cry and make you guys sad again. Once again, her innocence makes my heart clench, but I nod and smile at her in encouragement. Me to Mom and Dad, Tyler says, looking around just like his sister, Miss Arabella. Can we go to the park? Grandma can't take us anymore as her legs hurt. Tyler asks, and I can't bring myself to decline. Okay, let's go, but only if you call me Arabella. I don't want you guys to be formal with me. I say, pulling them both with me. They reluctantly nod and I grin as we start leaving. I return to the house an hour and a half later. I enjoyed too much with the kids. We talked. We had cookies that I took before leaving, and it gave me undescribable happiness when they both rolled off on the grass laughing when I tickled them. Just as I enter the area of the training field, I hear Xalvador. Arabella, where were you? I've been searching for you everywhere. Xalvador almost shouts, and I roll my eyes. He has marked me, and yet he is always so sure that I am planning to run. His eyes darken at my reaction, but I don't budge. Mariah, Tyler, why don't you go and watch some TV while I talk to your alpha? I ask, and they both nod. Mariah takes Tyler's hand and they both walk into the house. Xalvador, could you chill for a second? I was just out strolling with the children. I scowl as we start walking to his office. Well then, either inform me and leave or don't shut down the fucking mind link. He growls and I shut up. Okay, he is in a bad mood. And plus, I shouldn't have shut down the mind link. But hey, you need a break from super possessive mates, right? We enter in his office and I find Liam and Beta Axel already there. Xalvador takes a seat and so do I. My spies returned this morning and they have confirmed the news of the enemies having a witch. He says, and we look up in tension. Liam seems peculiar today. He hasn't looked or smiled at me. He is just mostly looking down, or Xalvador. Maybe he is too tensed. But the worst news is that they are planning an attack. A massive attack with thousands of wolves. And they leave in 2 days. He informs in an angry voice and his teeth clenched. I gasp in shock. Alpha, that means they would be here in maximum 5 to 6 days. We literally aren't prepared. I don't want to hear that, Axel. Prepare our wolves. Tell them to be ruthless when the enemies attack. I want everyone in the training field now. And later we will discuss how the defense strategy would be. He commands in the alpha tone and both the guys nod. But Xalvador, what about the witch and the super-powered wolves? How are we going to fight them? I ask while thinking of what I can do to help. Suddenly an idea strikes, but I brush it aside for the moment. We'll figure out. Ask Maisie what she can do to help. Otherwise, I'll have my wolf kill the witch first when they attack. It won't be easy, Alpha. Liam reminds. And it won't be impossible either. He glares at him and then they both leave. Xalvador, I hope you won't stop me from using my powers, right? It's for the pack. I say, sounding sure, but he seems to think. I am not sure, Bella. I can't loose you. I'm gonna send you away with the other women and children. He says, Xalvador, no. You can't do that. I won't let you. I wasn't given the most deadliest power to just sit and light up gas stoves. I will fight and use the moon, want it or not. I declare. How can I let you do that, Bella? You are not even obliged to. You don't even belong to this pack, and so I cannot let you get hurt. You are my responsibility. And that is why you won't fight. He growls, clutching my arms. I am a member of this pack, damn it. I was born here. I yell. His mouth hangs open and his eyes widen in shock. His grip loosens on my arms as I breathe hard. WH, what? He asks, stuttering slightly. Shit. I decided I wouldn't tell him until I was ready to consummate the bond. But there is no turning back now. Elizabeth told me that she smelled this pack's smell on me, and that she is sure that I was born here and then taken out of this pack. I am a member of the Dark Moon, before the Luna. I am the daughter of this pack. And these are my own people. Let me protect them, Xalvador. Please. I say, my voice almost a pained whisper. His face contorts with pain and shock. When did you come to know? Weeks ago, but I couldn't tell you. Why, that's not important. What is important is that you know now, and you have no reason for not letting me help my own pack. That is what a Luna is supposed to do, isn't it? I try to convince him. After a long silent unthinking, he nods. Okay, but you will follow my orders. And if I find you in danger, you will have to back off. Promise me. He demands, and I nod. For his sake. What the fight would bring, I don't know, but if my yes gives him satisfaction, then be it. We will put up the strongest defense we can. Preparation Xalvador's POV hit like you want to kill. I growl with my teeth clenched, holding the wolf by his neck. He manages to nod and I put him down. He gasps for breath and attacks me again. This time, it's harder than last time. Better. Keep going like that. I say and scan my eyes through the army of my wolves. Even the weakest ones are preparing. Tomorrow is the day. From the past 2 days, they have been fighting and learning and training. Some of them are prepared and some of them are not. But it doesn't matter. No matter what, I am not letting my pack loose. I will risk everything I have to keep my pack and especially the women and children safe. Arabella has been working on her elemental powers. She has already transported the women and children to a safe hermitage with the help of Axel. And that has provided some relief to me and to the men in my pack. Though my mate isn't safe, I still can't be more thankful about her being elemental. That's the only upper hand I have. Maisie's power is confusing. Some spells she can do and some she can't. I can't rely on her for much help. She too will be hidden safely when the attack happens. All right, wolves. I bellow after 2 hours. It's almost midnight. They have trained enough. Now all they need is to store their energy, get some rest and put up the best fight they can tomorrow. And that won't be possible if they are exhausted. Return to your homes and take rest. I want you all to be fresh and charged up for tomorrow. We are going to win. I growl and immediately the wolves growl in a power F you cake chorus of yes. I nod in satisfaction as everyone disperses. Axel and Liam nod at me as they leave and I just stay there for some time. After thinking about every possibility that could take place, I leave for my room. Xalvador. Arabella comes from behind and entwines our hands. Relief floods through me and I immediately put my arm around her. The bond I share with her, seeing the mark on her and realizing that such a powerful wolf as my mate makes me happy to no end. She is beautiful, bold, smart and dauntless, and I couldn't have asked for anything else. But just when I look at the other side, I wish just a little that she was weak and just a normal wolf. So I would have made sure that she stays in that place tomorrow safe from harm with the other women. It tears me apart again every second I realize that I am putting my own mate to such danger. But that's just how she is, and I can't stop her. I align our foreheads and take a deep breath of her irresistible, intoxicating scent. She smiles, and once again I'm in awe of this woman. There is hell breaking over tomorrow, and here she stands like everything is perfect. Why are you smiling? I ask, a bit amused. I just feel complete. It's like I finally realized the fact that I have a pack and a family, and you know me. I ask, surprised. Yeah. She smiles, looking into my eyes. I never could have imagined that I would end up with such an amazing man as my mate. You are strong, powerful, smart, amazing, and kind. Arabella, No, listen. I am not sure if I will ever get to say this again, so listen right now. Every single doubt that I had before about being here with you, there is none now. I am so at peace right now. I feel like I finally have left my past behind. All that matters is my future and my pack and my mate. I was wrong to think you were a heartless monster. You are not. You are just a hard shell with the most kind heart that I've known. And the way these people respect you, it's no wonder. After everything you've been through, you still are so strong, she says with tears in her eyes. Oh my God. Bella Sto. I love you, Xalvador. She says, crying, and my heart stops. I can literally not comprehend what is happening. Everything is perfect right now, but I hate myself for realizing this when it's almost too late. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, and I wish I had told you this earlier. You tried so hard, and I couldn't fulfill the duties of a mate. I didn't even fulfill your needs. She sobs, and I immediately kiss her forehead. Bella, you have been the perfect mate, and there isn't anything you haven't fulfilled. Sex is not something that defines mates and their bond. This wreckage you make me feel. It's just crazy. And that is everything. And don't say all this shit about it being too late. Tomorrow may be the worst day, but we won't lose. I won't let anything happen to you, okay? I am not ready to lose any of this. Not my pack. Not my wolves, and definitely not you. We are ready, baby. At the end of the day, I will kiss you our victory. Okay? I ask, cupping both her cheeks. She smiles with tears in her eyes, and that pulls at my heart so hard. I kiss her with so much passion. It's as if I want her to feel everything I can't convey. Our tongues battle as she kisses me back with the same fervor. She finally gives up, and I caress her mouth with my tongue. I clench her waist and settle her on the bed. My hands find her neck, and my mouth trails there. I drop heated kisses and nip at her collarbone and my mark while she writhes and moans. My God. I could just reach my high looking at her like this. I kneel beside her, heaving with breathlessness as I stare at her body writhing for me in need. Once again, I attack her neck with my mouth while I squeeze her breast with my hand. Xalvador. She moans, and that sound drives me crazy. Why the hell did I not do this before? Suddenly Arabella gets up and lays me on my back. Her hands fist in my head as she kisses me, the power in her hands this time. She kisses my neck, and once again I see her eyes water. She straddles me as she kisses me again, and I squeeze her body. Every nerve of my body is alive with need and are just screaming for her. Xal, stop. Bella says in midst of our heated session, her chest heaving. We both need rest, and heaven knows that if we start now we won't be able to stop. And that's not good for tomorrow. It's for the entire pack. We are the ones they rely on. She gasped the words in the most unconvincing way, but I get her point. If I consummate the bond tonight, I will not stop all night long. And without rest I won't be able to put up the best defense that I have to. I nod and slowly put her off me. We cuddle and I caress her head. Suddenly my heart rate spikes as she caresses my face. Bella, you's confessed, and... Arabella, shit's okay. she says, placing a finger on my lips. I know you feel it. You don't have to say it back until you are ready. She smiles softly and I nod. She closes my eyes with her fingers and I feel content before darkness engulfs around me. Arabella's POV eyes smile as I watch him sleep, so peacefully and so much at ease. With his stern, tense look gone, he looks so much more handsome than he already is, and that once more takes my breath away. His arms tighten around me and I snuggle closer. I don't know why, but I have this feeling that I might lose him tomorrow. That maybe I would never hear that "I love you." And maybe we would never be able to consummate our bond. But when I think of the arrangement cited earlier, I feel a bit of relief. What I have done is risky, but it might be some great help when we need it. Plus, Maisie has been doing everything she can. When she first came in for my measurements, never could have I imagined that she would become my only best girlfriend. She is this gem of a person, and I am so glad I have her. Ever since morning, she was busy with things in journals that I can't even come close to describe. But whatever she was doing, she was pretty engrossed and I had to force her to go and sleep. I once again close my eyes, but my restless thoughts don't let me sleep. I sigh and just give up. I carefully untangle myself from Xalvador's arms and hop down to that one place I've always found peace. At the back of the house. Everything will be different tomorrow. There wouldn't just be plain trimmed grass here. And I don't want to think what would replace this plain grass ground. I wrap my arms around myself and take a deep breath. Shouldn't you be sleeping? I hear a voice from behind. Liam, I could ask you the same. I reply. He stands beside me and then sighs. I'm just disturbed about something. He says and I nod. I understand. I am restless too. Because I have this feeling that something bad will happen tomorrow. Something that none of us are expecting. I say, now looking at him. You know, Liam, these past days have been the happiest days of my life. As a rogue, I do firmly believed that the only purpose of my life is to survive, but... And suddenly changed, and I was like, oh my God, and I wanted this to last. I wanted to experience what it is to have a mate. A pack into best friends like you and Maisie. I smile at him, and he just gives me a brief smile back. I'm sure this will last. I so don't know. I mean, ever since yesterday, there is this feeling in my gut that I will lose everything tomorrow. I don't want to lose Xalvador. And nor do I want to lose you or this pack, or Maisie or Tyler and Mariah. You guys mean so much to me now that I won't be able to see even one of you getting hurt. I just hope that my instincts are wrong. And I'm sorry for venting this way, but I don't think I'd be able to sleep until I talk about how I feel. And who better than you can I talk it with? Liam looks a bit taken aback, but I can't be so sure. He is tensed. I'm scared to Arabella. He says in a quiet voice, and I realize that I was demotivating him as well. Great, Arabella. I clasp his right hand with both of mine. You know what? We both have nothing to be scared about. Our soldiers are strong and we are smart, and I'm elemental. Plus you guys are so loyal and so much trained that nothing will go wrong. I promise that. And also, I won't let anything happen to you. Someone tries to hurt you and boom, their asses will be burning. I say in a teasing way, trying to lighten the tension. Liam just stares at me impassively and then gives a small nod. Thanks, Arabella. Good night. He smiles and then walks off. Feeling much better, I return to my room and into the arms of my mate for what may be the last time. Too much to take in the dawn bring a serene silence in the pack. As I dress up in a black tee and jeans, I look at myself in the mirror. We can do this. I nod, agreeing with Aficionados. Ever since I've been marked, I feel a sense of peace within me. And along with that comes strongness. Aficionados is sure that we will save our pack, and so am I. I come out of the bathroom to find Xalvador waiting for me. He is dressed in simple shorts and a t-shirt. It's not like he's gonna keep them on at all today. He circles his arms around me as I approach and I breath his scent and memorize it. We're gonna be fine, he says, and I mumble a yes, snuggling into his chest. Xavier ushers me down. I realize that this is the only time I've seen this pack house so quiet. The usual grunts, chatter, abuses, and the shouts of arguments are all missing. I am glad Tyler and Mariah are safe at the hiding. It's not that these people are scared to fight, but this time, the stakes are too high. Today fight threatens the very existence of this pack, which has already faced the horrors of extinguishing once. No matter how hard this goes, we will all defeat those treacherous wolves. Those rogues stand in front of us, the rightful ones. Everyone listen. Xalvador commands as soon we step out on the ground. Action. Every wolf on the field stands to attention. My spies have confirmed. The enemy is almost here. Now is the time to use each and everything you have learned in this pack. Be ruthless, smart, and kill. This is our pack and we will not let history repeat itself. The doomed night that cost us our families and our pack will not replay again. We will fight only to win. We will fight only to win. A chorus of wolves pierces the serene silence. Xalvador gruffly nods and mind links someone. Soon enough, Beta, Axel, and Liam report to him. Position. Xalvador orders and they both nod. Calling out to their respective groups. They stand in rectangular units. There are many other similar units with a wolf as their leader. I see Marcel as one of the leaders and I can recognize some only by their faces. Almost everyone is here, except Kane. I'll be right back, I mutter quickly and rush inside. I find him in the living room, watching TV. Don't you have no self-respect? Or any compassion for your pack for that matter? I growl and Kane faces me. Luna, I am afraid I don't follow, he says with the same weird tone he talks every time. There is war about to commence and here you are watching television. That's your own pack, your own alpha who are gonna fight to protect this pack, and you seem the least interested. Even the common wolves are helping in you. You could almost pass for someone who is the enemy of this pack. I say, my blood boiling. His expression doesn't change. It's the same, bored and uninterested. I lost my family years ago because a weak alpha and his cheating, selfish mate. I lost my mate and my child that night fighting for a worthless man who couldn't bear the loss of his mate and let his entire pack face misery. And that woman, who for her own selfish reasons ran away. After that, dear Luna, I had no intentions of staying in this worthless pack. It was only due to my brother that I agreed to stay. But every time I look at Alpha Xalvador, I'm reminded of my loss. I don't care if this pack intact or everyone, including me, dies. I have no care at all. He growls slightly and iced, and they're baffled. I understand your loss, Kane. But if you don't help today, to protect the mates and children of several others like you, there will remain no difference between the weak and selfish people you are talking about and you. None at all. I state softly and leave without waiting for him to reply. Luna, Arabella, come into my room. I must tell you something. Maisie mind links me and I rush to her room. To my surprise, I already find Xalvador there. What's going on? We should be down. I say as I enter. There is something you must know about Luna Gabriella. Maisie says in a firm yet reluctant voice. I don't want to hear anything about that selfish WOM alpha, please. She wasn't selfish. I may not get the chance to reveal the truth once the fight begins. Maisie says frantically and Xalvador frowns. What is it, Maisie? Tell us. I encourage her. She takes a deep breath and then glances at Xalvador. Remember the spell we did in the circle to connect with Luna Gabriella? She asks and I nod. Well, as I said, There needed to be a connection between the person in the circle and the one I'm trying to contact. Yes, and that connection was between Xalvador and Luna. I say confused. No, Arabella. It was between you and Luna Gabriella, she says, and I gasp in shock. Xalvador mirrors my expression. How is that possible? Xalvador growls in confusion. Alpha, you stopped loving your mother when she ran. That is why I couldn't establish the connection. I was about to give up, but then the connection started forming between Arabella and Luna Gabriella. I was shocked, just like you both are right now, but decided to keep quiet until I could dig further. In the last few days, I had been searching and searching for the answer to the weird connection. And then I found it. The grandmother you talk about all the time, Arabella, is Luna Gabriella. I exclaim, overwhelmed. Xalvador comes to my side and grasps my hand. Yes, Luna. Years ago, the Luna had to run. Not because she loved someone else, but due to the wishes of the moon. To protect the only fire elemental in the world. Maisie, I don't understand. I say, shaking my head and my voice laced with pain and desperation. Then please just hear me out, she says. I and Xalvador nod. Alpha, your mother was a rogue. She was from the same group that attacked our pack when Alpha Adam passed away. When she found her mate, she moved in the pack as the Luna. The rogues hated her for that. As we, rogue, despise wolves with packs. And to lose such a strong witch to an already powerful pack was a hurt to their ego. Even then the Luna stayed in the pack, tamed the wild people with her caring nature. One day, in the forest, she met her friend Ebra. Deborah and her mate were rogues. Deborah was pregnant and unhappy. She disliked her current life with cruel rogues. The Luna and she then started meeting at a safe place regularly. One fine day, Deborah gave birth to a child with Luna Gabriella as her godmother. The girl was special, an elemental, a fire elemental to be precise. Maisie says, and I stumble backwards. Xalvador is similarly shocked, but yet catches me from falling. Deborah realized immediately the danger of returning to the rogues with the blessed child. The rogues would use her girl for all their dirty work, and Deborah would have no say. That is why the Luna did a spell and talked to the moon. The moon commanded her to save the child from the clutches of the evil. The Luna had no choice but to flee to safety, because as soon as Deborah returned, the truth would be out. It takes me a while to comprehend the overwhelming revelation. But Deborah could have lied. Xalvador states in a trance. She couldn't have. Make no mistake, Alpha. The rogues are no fools. Even if she lied, the witch Luna Gabriella's younger sister would have found out the truth. Maisie explains, so grandmother left for me, without informing anyone because she had to save me. I state, tears brimming in my eyes. She didn't have to explain anything, and that is why she ran immediately. Deborah, in order to save her life, lied that the Luna ran away with the girl without her consent. The rogue for Luna as soon as they came to know. But they realized she wasn't in the pack anymore. This infuriated them to no level, and that is why they attacked that night. To take revenge through anything they can. They lost the witch first and then an elemental. Their ultimate aim, I'm guessing, is to wipe the 2RH on bloodline and anyone that had ever been in contact with Luna Gabriella. My mother wasn't a traitor. She Xalvador sits on the bed with a shock, and I entwine our hands. Yes, Alpha, she was never a traitor. Maisie replies in a pained voice. And Luna? Maisie asks tentatively, and I raise my head in question. Your family is still alive. She says, and I'm on my feet again. Really? I ask with desperation. But not your parents. They were killed by the Silver Falls wolves. Your siblings are alive and in this pack. She says, and I frown. Alpha Xalvador. You remember Mason, right? His mate was Deborah. Maisie states, and Xalvador growls in shock. Realization dawns upon me as I remember the 3 wolves in the basement who were killed by Xalvador. That is when Xalvador told me what they had done and who they had killed. And that is when I met Tyler and Mariah. Oh my God. I gasped softly in shock. Tyler and Mariah are my siblings. I utter in shocks, tumbling backwards. This is too much to take. I never thought so many people lost their lives because of me. It started all with me. With my birth. Xalvador lost his mother because of me. Alpha Adam lost his mate. He died. My grandmother was killed. Heck, my own parents were killed because of me. Hey. Stop it, Bella. Xalvador commands, softly grasping my shoulders. Stop what? I ask, my eyes closed in pain. You are blaming yourself. I can feel it. Not wrong there. Am I? I mutter. Of course you are. You are a blessing to the wolves. The rogues are the cause of everything. Their thirst for power led to the wreckage they caused in our lives. Not you, baby. It's not your fault. I am so sorry. I gasp. Tears flowing now. Xalvador hugs me and Maisie pats my back. Arabella, it's not your fault. Please don't blame yourself.
You're right.
It is them who took away my family from me. Your family. I say, straightening up and wiping my cheeks. I focus on Xalvador's embrace and I realize he is just as shocked as me. The woman he spent his entire life hating is actually the reason I am with him today. But Maisie, how did you find out everything? Xalvador inquires and I perk up as well. It was difficult, really difficult, but my spells helped a lot. I dug up more journals, met the old man you told me about, Arabella, and also talked to my mother. Your mother. Yes, these powers. The reason for being a half, which is connected to this story too. I don't know if you know, but my parents aren't mates. My father never found his mate, and so he married my mother. It wasn't so smooth between them. Soon after I was born, things started getting worse, and eventually my mother left my father and shifted to the village. Luna Gabriella returned to this pack in her final days. She wanted to give an explanation, but the enemies were very close on trail. She didn't have much time. Yet the scene was very different. Our pack was shattered from the attack. What shattered her more was that Alpha Adam was no more and that Alpha Xalvador despised her. Yet she met my mother, her closest friend in the pack. What she feared the most was that Arabella would be left alone if she died. And so would her powers. It's the duty of a witch to transfer her powers to her child. Luna couldn't do that. Alpha Xalvador was the next alpha in line and he hated her already. She didn't have another child while Arabella was already elemental. So with all the strength she could muster and as much as she could, she transferred her powers to me. She explains, and I wonder if my head would burst with so much of overwhelming information. I am sorry I told you everything right before the fight. I didn't want you to fall weak. No, Maisie. If anything, my urge to crush those murderers is 1,000 times stronger now. Don't worry. Xalvador growls and I nod. Yes, Maisie. Just see how those bloody rogues face their punishment for all their sins. I growl with a determination in my voice that I haven't ever felt towards anything before. Thank you so much for joining me in this obsession with werewolves. I hope you've had a great time and can't wait to come back for more. Remember to subscribe, leave your comments, and share this passion with others. Until next time, keep being obsessed.